You're a teacher. Okay. So let's talk about that. Why are you in teaching? What drew you to teaching and education? And how do you see education? Give me your take on where we're at, why you're there, and your thoughts on it. What people need to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And education itself has just dramatically changed, you know, from 20 years ago. When a lot of our parents went to school, it was you showed up, you had your pencil and paper, the teacher wrote on the board, not the active board, but the whiteboard, right? And old squeaky whiteboards, and everybody listened and paid attention, and that's just what you did. It was a very clean cut, cookie cutter education. And what beautiful about education today is this drastic shift we're seeing in technology, in project-based learning, mentor training, where finally people in education figured it out. Man, this is not a cookie cutter situation. This is every child is different. It's known as differentiation in the education word. And when you use that word, teachers kind of shudder a little bit because it's a lot of extra work on us, right? I've got kids at various levels. You know, I've got some who are slow learners, medium learners, fast learners, right? And I think that just it's more work on education, but it's beautiful in the end because of the end product. And that's what education is. Education is a focus on the end product. And what is our end product, right? Every you know, you as a service person, you know this. What is my goal at the end of this? What is my product? And our product is smarter, better, more advanced students in their different fields. And that's what I really like about it. And kind of going back more on a personal level about education to me, I didn't want to do education. No. I knew my dad. My dad was a teacher for a long time. We grew up, we had enough. We didn't have a lot, don't get me wrong. And so education to me was this, hey, it's cool. You know, you're seen as smart, but you're not going to make any money. You're not going to have a lot of things, you know. And so it kind of scared me at first. And then I got into it and I figured out why my dad did it for, I think, 35, 40 years. He even retired and went back and done it again.
Yeah. He's still doing it to this day. Just because he's not, you know,
he's still a teacher.
He's still a teacher. He's an author, an amazing author, smart guy. I mean, just tremendously brilliant guy. So anyway, he's still teaching today.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. He's phenomenal, and he put a lot into that. Man, I didn't even realize that I had. But yeah, and I think that goes back to what we were talking about with education and why I'm in it is that end product and the students. I fell in love with it day one. And I can say that I absolutely learned trial by fire. I was in insurance, right? I'm working in insurance. I'm answering the phone. I'm helping Jonathan at Griffin Insurance, and I love that guy and thankful for that opportunity. But I didn't have that sense of calling, that purpose that I was really looking for. I get put in a classroom. I had 1 hour of shadowing, right? I've never been in a classroom before. I got to go in the day before, I had 1 hour. The very next day, I've got 30 eyes staring at me. Never been a teacher, never taught, never done education before. And it basically was like learn quickly. And what I found out was, who cares what you're teaching, right? And I hate to say it like this, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be rude to all the teachers out there, but at the end of the day, your students aren't going to remember that they might remember the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, right? They'll remember little trivial things that you're going to say, but they're going to remember how you made them feel, how you touched their life. Did they care? Did they ask me about my day? Did they get involved in what I wanted to do with the rest of my life? And that's what education too really needs to focus on is the innate interpersonal relationships between teacher, student, building those for life, not for a semester, not for a year, but for life.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, we need more teachers like that for sure. So I think I love what I'm hearing, because I hear so many people talk negatively about the current status of our education system. And I'm sure you could tell us more about how it needs to be improved, but
there's always ways to improve. But
just connecting with those children and worrying about worrying, I don't know if that's the right term, but being focused on the end result. That is, I love what I'm hearing. So I do appreciate that. Now, you mentioned some words that I don't hear a lot of teachers use. You said mentor, you said purpose, you said calling. Not sure. There's always, I've heard a lot of teachers say, yeah, this is my calling, but a mentor, mentorship is so important. It's been so important to me. Where do you get the idea that mentorship is important? Have you seen it in your life? Obviously your dad probably was a mentor, but I mean, do you see other teachers out there teaching with you, or do you know teaching mentors that approach it that way?
Yeah, and I think like when you're mentioning mentorship, there's nothing like having somebody who's already done it, who's been in the game, who's who can answer those questions when you have them. And thankfully, I've had several teachers. The high school welcomed me with open arms, and from day one, it was like, "Hey, what do you need? You know, here's this, this, and this." And we actually have a mentor program at the high school built in, and I think that should be, you know, throughout. But even like life mentors is just as important. Finding somebody who you look up to, who, and obviously don't idolize them. You know, don't put them on a pedestal because they're the same. They're going to make mistakes just like everybody else. But you're willing to listen to and to follow and hear that good advice.